It's finally happening. My favorite bold predictions for the second half of the season, NHL awards, NHL playoffs, and NHL trades at the deadline. Everything you need to know, everything that I think is going to happen in the second half of the season. Let's get after it.
You're Locked On Fantasy Hockey, your daily podcast on fantasy hockey.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast, making it your first listen every single day, Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock in the morning is when you can find our episodes. Thank you so much for tuning in for this special episode. I am your host, Steele Rodin, flying solo on Tuesday's episode. Really appreciate all that love and support we've been receiving on YouTube, on Twitter. Couldn't be doing this without all of our listeners out there. So thank you so much for that. We're going to get to a lot of topics on today's episode. I've got bold predictions for the second half of the season. Of course, we're going to get to big time bets like we do at the end of every single show, as well as we're starting today off with the new signing of Logan Thompson with the Washington Capitals. We're going to break down the trade, or we're going to break down the signing extension. We're going to break down exactly what Logan Thompson has done so far this season. But first, this episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Super Bowl 59 is here, and there's no better way to make every play more exciting than with FanDuel Sportsbook. New customers can bet just $5, and if you win, you'll score $200 in bonus bets. Download the app or head to FanDuel.com to get started today. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in for today's episode. I'm flying solo. Little power outage problems from flip side of things. It's windy in Toronto, in Niagara right now, but we're getting after it for Tuesday's show. Like I said, bold predictions. We're finally going to get after it, which we've been trying to for the last couple of weeks. We just couldn't with some breaking news, some trades, as well as waiver wire targets, but we're going to get to it. I'm going to get to it, at least my three favorite bold predictions for the second half of the season. First off, though, Logan Thompson signs a fantastic deal with the Washington Capitals after being traded from the Vegas Golden Knights prior to the season starting. 6 years, $35.10 million deal. He's getting $5.85 annually, and this is a great deal from both sides. Logan Thompson solidifies himself as the number one goaltender in Washington. I believed he was going to be battling it out with Charlie Lindgren all season. He snatched that job as early as November with the incredible play and production he's been putting in the blue paint for them. He has a 22-2-3 record on the season so far. This is an absolutely incredible year for Thompson. And just to break it down as well, a .925 save percentage, a 2.09 goals against average. That puts him right behind Connor Hellebuyck in second for goals against average. That puts him in third behind Anthony Stolarz, who hasn't played for 6 or 7 weeks now. Connor Hellebuyck at .926, and then Logan Thompson at a .925 save percentage. So he gets a fantastic deal. He's 27 years old. He's going to be with them at least till he's 33 years old, unless he gets traded elsewhere. But the fact that he is 22-2-3, he's had 3 consecutive years of 20-plus win seasons. Great job in the save percentage category. He's never been below a .908 save percentage, which was actually his worst last year in Vegas. Besides that, he's always been a .914, .915, and career high of .925 this year. You know, there's been a lot of talk about this player being snubbed for Team Canada at the Four Nations face-off, and I couldn't agree more. The fact that he is not on this list, or he didn't make the team, is really dumbfounding to me at this point, because he is proving all of the haters wrong. He's proven the front office wrong for Team Canada in selecting this team, and he should definitely be in the blue paint. And I don't want to go as far as to say that he should be in consideration for the Vezina Trophy at the end of the year. Currently, Connor Hellebuyck is a huge favorite, minus 2,400 to win the Vezina Trophy. Then Logan Thompson comes in second at plus 2,500. So there is a significant gap between number one and number two for the Vezina award. But the fact that it's that big and Logan Thompson has this incredible record of 22-2-3, the fact that the Washington Capitals lead the league in point percentage at 724, they're tied with the Winnipeg Jets at 71 points. To me, this gap needs to be a lot closer. I still believe that Connor Hellebuyck should be the favorite and will end up winning this award again for back-to-back years for what he's been doing. He's 37-2 on the year. Like I said, 926 save percentage, first goaltender, number one goaltender in goals against average with 2.02. I just believe the gap should be a lot closer than it is because of Logan Thompson only losing 2 games in regulation, 3 games in overtime, but 22 wins on the season, could definitely get to 30 plus wins by the end of the year. That is the Logan Thompson deal with the Washington Capitals. Great deal from both sides of this. Washington Capitals get their number one goaltender locked up. They traded for him. We said that at the beginning of the season. This was going to be a team to watch out for with all the adds and acquisitions they made in the summer of 2024, and it's worked out for them so far. Pierre-Luc Dubois, Logan Thompson, Andrew Mangiapane, Jacob Chikrin on the back end. Great things are happening in Washington. They have a great chance to make a deep playoff run if they continue this type of play in the postseason. Let's get over to my first bold prediction for the second half of the season. It's kind of 2 bold predictions in one, but it's the Columbus Blue Jackets. I've mentioned them before and what I believe is going to happen. To me, my first bold prediction, the Columbus Blue Jackets make the playoffs and Zach Werenski wins the Norris Trophy, beating out Quinn Hughes and Cale Makar. It's actually a really tight race right now, but the Blue Jackets would not be in this situation. They would not be in this conversation for a playoff spot right now if it weren't for Zach Werenski. He has been by far their best player all season long. He leads them in points, 54 points in 50 games, 16 goals, 38 assists. He's a +8, 27 penalty minutes, the 89 blocks, 189 shots leads them as well. Right there with Kirill Marchenko. That's on top of it. Without him, they're still getting a lot of great production from their veteran presence. Obviously, Sean Monahan hurt, but before he goes down to injury, he had 41 points in 41 games. James Van Riemsdyk doing his job as well, 21 points in 43 games. But it's the young guns that have really stepped up this season and have given this team new light. Dean Evison as well behind the bench at the helm, coaching job. He's done a fantastic job getting this team back into playoff contention at least. I don't want to say cup contention, but Dean Evison has been a game changer behind the bench, changing the dynamic, changing the culture of this team with a lot of young guys, a few veteran presence. But back to Zach Werenski, currently at +280 to win the Norris Trophy. Cale Makar at +160. Quinn Hughes leads right now at +130. So for me, when I look at this defensive group with especially those 3 players, Cale Makar leading the way currently with 56 points. Quinn Hughes, 54 points. Zach Werenski, 54 points. To me, for the fact that the Columbus Blue Jackets haven't been in the playoffs, I believe in the last 4 or 5 years, I believe it was that qualifying round, the first COVID year was the last time they were in the postseason. If they can get into the playoffs, sneak into a first or second wild card spot, which they're tied with the Lightning right now with 55 points, a game in hand on the Boston Bruins, 1 point behind them. I believe if they get into the playoffs, Zach Werenski is going to be leading the league for defensive points by the end of the year. He's done a fantastic job on the power play, 1.08 points per game so far this season. To me, the Columbus Blue Jackets really need to be considered a dangerous team. I don't want to say cup contender, but playoff contention for sure. They can hang with the best of them. We've seen that all season long, beating some top-tier teams. I'm going to continue this Columbus Blue Jackets bold prediction take when we come back from the break, as well as big-time bets at the end of the episode, and 2 more bold predictions with some Canadian teams I really want to dive into. But first, this episode, once again, also brought to you by FanDuel. Super Bowl 59 is here. One game, two teams, endless possibilities. Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. And there's no better way to make every play more exciting than with the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Whether it's predicting the first touchdown, calling the MVP, or even betting on the coin toss, FanDuel makes it easy to get in on the action with live betting all game long. You can adjust your bets as the game unfolds and feel the thrill from kickoff to the final whistle. The live betting feature lets you stay involved no matter what happens on the field, and the app is super easy to navigate. Plus, knowing that you can place a $5 bet and potentially win $200 in bonus bets for the Super Bowl, that's icing on the cake. Download the app or head to FanDuel.com to get started. Bet just $5, and if you win, you'll score $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Bet with FanDuel, official partner of Super Bowl 59. Once again, thank you so much for making the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast your first listen every single day. Continue to smash that subscribe button, the follow button, leave a 5-star review. Flip isn't here right now, but we really do appreciate all the love and support we are shown on YouTube and Twitter. Couldn't be doing this without all of our listeners out there. So thank you so much for all that support and love. I want to wrap up my point on the Columbus Blue Jackets because right now they're currently out of a playoff spot, second wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference. But like I said, I believe they're going to make the postseason for the first time in 4 or 5 years. And I believe at the same time, Zach Werenski is going to win the Norris Trophy. I think, again, even if he doesn't finish with the most points, if he finishes a couple points behind Cale Makar, Quinn Hughes, the fact that he is playing at this caliber, hasn't missed a game, or maybe just missed one, I believe, but hasn't really missed a lot of game, which has happened in the past for this player. 54 points, on pace for a career high. It's been incredible to watch. Yeah, he's 3 points away from his career high, which was last year, 57 points. He's on pace for 80 plus right now. If he does that and they get into the playoffs, he deserves the Norris Trophy in my eyes, just for what he's been able to do on the back end. So much for them, playing over close to 27 minutes of average ice time this year, a career high for him as well. He's currently at 26 minutes and 47 seconds. Again, a lot of credit due to the young players, Kirill Marchenko, Dmitry Voronkov, Kent Johnson, Adam Fantilli, Cole Sillinger here and there. The goaltending has been, they've gotten away with the goaltending so far with Tarasov and Merzlikins. Both goaltenders below an .895 save percentage. Both goaltenders worse than a .290 goals against average. It comes down to Zach Werenski for me, I believe, at plus 230. Great odds. He's, for me, going to win the Norris Trophy. That's my first bold prediction. Second prediction on the docket. The Winnipeg Jets. To me, it's championship or bust for them. And it comes down to the first round of the playoffs. So if they get out of the first round, if they win that first round Western Conference, if they win that first round Central Conference, Central Division matchup in the playoffs, I believe they're going to go all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. I also believe that there's a very good chance the Winnipeg Jets get bounced in the first round, which has happened year after year after year after year. If you looked at the playoff history for this franchise, only 2 times in the last 8 rounds of the postseason have they gotten out of the first round. Last year, bounced in the first round. 2023, bounced in the first round. 2020, bounced in the first round. 2019, bounced in the first round. 2015, bounced in the first round. Only 2018 and 2020 were the 2 years that they got out of the first round. It's going to come down to goaltending once again. We've seen it over the last 2 seasons. Connor Hellebuyck dominates the regular season. He wins the Vezina, and then playoffs come around, and it just breaks down. They shut down. Connor Hellebuyck is not the same goaltender that we saw in the regular season that he is in the postseason. So for me, it's championship or bust for this Winnipeg Jets team. Like I said, championship or bust. They either get out of the first round and go all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals, or they get bounced in that first round. And it's another year gone early from the postseason for the Winnipeg Jets. That's the second bold prediction for me. Third and final prediction for the second half of the season. We're continuing down the NHL award list. I think Dustin Wolf is going to come out this second half and absolutely steal the show, winning the Calder Trophy, stealing it from both Macklin Celebrini and Lane Hutson. Currently, Macklin Celebrini leading the pack right now. He is the favorite at minus 135. You got Lane Hutson in the mix at plus 140. And then in third, you got Dustin Wolf at plus 1,100. When you look at what he's been able to do for this team, they've sat in a playoff spot all season long. They're currently in that second wildcard spot. Dustin Wolf having a fantastic season as well. 18-7-2, a 916 save percentage, a 2.54 goals against average. He definitely deserves to be in the conversation for what he's done this season. And is at age 23, coming in 6 foot, 166 pounds, very small goaltender compared to others around the league, especially in the Western Conference. First full season in the National Hockey League. He's been nothing but spectacular for this Calgary Flames team and giving them a real chance at getting into the playoffs and potentially being, going into the trade deadline. Okay, maybe we actually need to be buyers at the trade deadline. Maybe we need to up our top 6 forward group, bottom 6, maybe add a depth guy, maybe add someone on the blue line as well. I think Dustin Wolf and Daniel Vladar can definitely do their job and get by in the postseason. Dustin Wolf going into might be a little nervous, but regardless, I think he's going to come into it. He's going to steal the show here in the second half. He's going to finish close to 30 plus wins is what I have him at. He has 18 wins right now in 27 starts. I think he gets at least another 10 wins. I think he can definitely get to 30 plus by the end of the regular season if he gets the run out. Regardless, he's been spectacular for the Calgary Flames. That is my final bold prediction. Columbus Blue Jackets get into the playoffs. Zach Werenski wins the Norris championship season or bust for the Winnipeg Jets, as well as Dustin Wolf steals the Calder Trophy award right out of Macklin Celebrini's hands. Lane Hutson looking on the sides like, what am I doing out here? I just had a great season as well. It doesn't matter. Dustin Wolf wins it for the Calgary Flames and himself. Those are the bold predictions for the second half of the season. We're going to come back after the break with big time bets. Lots of matchups on the schedule. I've got 3 picks for you Tuesday night. All 3 coming from different games. All of that and more after the break. Once again, thank you so much for making the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast your first listen every single day. Continue to smash that subscribe button, hit the follow button, leave a 5-star review. We really do appreciate it. I know Flip's not here, but he really does appreciate all that love and support you show us. Like I said, Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock in the mornings when you can find our episode. There is, I believe, 8 games on the schedule. Let me just count this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 8 games on the schedule. A lot of juicy matchups here. You got Bruins versus Sabres, Blackhawks versus Lightning, Hurricanes versus Rangers, Jets and Canadians, Avalanche taking on the Islanders, Capitals and Flames, Ducks and Kraken, Stars and Golden Knights. So what I'm going to do on today's episode, I've got my 3 favorite picks, but I'm also just going to do a huge 8-game money line parlay with what I believe from my research is going to happen. So if you want to break down all games into a parlay, these will be my 8 favorite money lines going into Tuesday night. But first, let's break down my 3 favorite picks. Number 1 on the list, Golden Knights and Stars. That's the first game I'm looking at. I'm taking the under 6.5 in this matchup. 7 of the last 8 have gone under the number. They did just play the other day, I believe, a couple days ago, where it was a 4-3 win for the Dallas Stars. Regardless, in the history between these two teams, it usually goes under the number. Like I said, a lot of us want to believe there's going to be action. It typically doesn't end up that way. Like we've seen a lot this season. There's been a lot of unders in these matchups. That's the first pick for me. Golden Knights Stars under 6.5. 7 of the last 8 have gone under the number. This one's a gut pick for me. Both teams have been very bad in goals for. I'm just going to pull that up as well. But I'm looking at that Bruins-Sabres game. The goal differential for the Boston Bruins is ugly. I believe it's a -20 on the season for the Boston Bruins. It is a -20 for the Boston Bruins in goal differential. When you look at goals for this season as well, Boston Bruins, they're 13th or 12th or 13th last in the league right now. They only have 139 goals on the season. You look at the Buffalo Sabres, they're also, I believe, pretty far down that list. But yes, goals for Boston Bruins have been struggling. Buffalo Sabres are in the middle of the pack. Yeah, Boston Bruins have 139. Buffalo Sabres have 149. So there's a 10-goal differential between these two teams. I like the Buffalo Sabres at home. I know they continue to struggle. They're 4-6-0 in their last 10, lost 2 in a row right now. It's not very good. You know, it's a little bit better for the Bruins. They're 5-3-2 in their last 10 games. I like the Buffalo Sabres at home. This is really just a gut pick for me. So Buffalo Sabres on the money line is my second pick. And then my favorite and lock of the night, Alexander Ovechkin, anytime goal against the Calgary Flames. This might be his favorite team to play against from the Western Conference. 17 goals, 33 points in 25 games against the Calgary Flames. He's dominated. You could also probably go with the 2+ points if that's maybe a little bit of a juicier odd. Yeah, you could go with the 2+ points with Alexander Ovechkin. I'm going with the anytime goal. 17 in 25 games is absolutely incredible. He's still fighting for that. He's still chasing down the grade 8. I believe he's 20 goals away from breaking the record. There's a good chance maybe that's a bold prediction as well. He gets it done by the end of the regular season. I know a lot of people think it's going to happen early next year. Bold prediction, he gets it done before the end of the 2025 regular season. That's my favorite pick. That's my lock of the night. Ovechkin, anytime goal against the Calgary Flames. Now, real quickly before I wrap up, we're going to do an 8-game parlay NHL, all money line picks with 8 of these teams, with all 8 of these matchups. Let me know what you think in the comments below about these picks, what you're feeling, what your favorite picks are going into Tuesday night. First pick, I've already mentioned it. I'm taking the Sabres on the money line against the Boston Bruins. This one is a coin flop situation for me. I know the Bruins usually dominate them, or they usually win these games between these two teams. I like the Sabres at home. I like Tage Thompson. I feel like Tage Thompson, Alex Tuch are going to break out in this game. Sabres on the money line for my first pick. Second pick, it's the Tampa Bay Lightning against the Blackhawks. I'm taking the Lightning on the money line. I believe they're minus 135 right now, or minus 345 right now. So the odd isn't great. I wouldn't go to the puck line. They have struggled to win by 2 or more goals in the last couple against the Blackhawks, but the Lightning do dominate at home. They've been a great team in Tampa. So for me, looking at their stats right now, yeah, they're 15-6-1. You could probably actually take the puck line for a better odd, but we're doing an 8-game money line parlay. Lightning on the money line, Sabres on the money line. I'm also taking the Rangers on the money line against the Carolina Hurricanes. They've been playing a lot better. Tough loss for them against the Colorado Avalanche the other day, but they're 6-1-3 in their last 10. Carolina obviously dominating as well. I like the home teams in this one, in these first 3 games. Sabres money line, Lightning money line, Rangers money line. Then we get to the Jets Canadians. I'm going to take the Jets in this situation. The Winnipeg Jets are minus 162 currently. The odd can change. They're going into Montreal, just a better team. I really like what Montreal's been able to do the last couple of months, but this is just a favorite. This is a juggernaut team going up against an up-and-comer right now. Jets on the money line. Then you've got the Avalanche and Islanders. I love the Avalanche in this situation. A lot of high-scoring games between these two teams. I'm taking the Avs at minus 156 right now. The only underdog I've taken so far is that Sabres game. So Avalanche on the money line. I'm going to take the Washington Capitals on the money line as well. They play really well against Calgary in Calgary. Capitals at minus 156 on the money line. This is a back-to-back situation for the Seattle Kraken. They take on the Anaheim Ducks. I'm going with the Anaheim Ducks in this situation. They are the second underdog I'm taking here. Ducks and Kraken. I'm going to take the Ducks on the money line. And then this one's a coin flip toss here. Golden Knights at home. I got to go Vegas against the Dallas Stars. Stars beat them last time. I'm going Vegas this time. Okay, run it back right now. Sabres money line, Lightning money line, Rangers, Jets, Avalanche, Capitals, Ducks, and Golden Knights. 8 money line teams for Tuesday night. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you would change. Let me know your favorite picks. And thank you so much for making the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Pod, your first listen every single day. For your second listen, make sure you go check out the Locked On NHL podcast, where the season never ends, providing national expertise with a local perspective. You can find the link in the description below, so you don't have to go searching for it. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. From both Flip and I know he's not here, but we both wish you good luck with your bets tonight and your weekly matchups, and we shall see you back here again tomorrow. Peace.